Previously on Use Your Imagination. This story begins in the darkness. A breath. That's all it takes to bring you back. You see bodies, bloodied, broken, and clothed in all manner of armors, equipment, and weapons. Adventurers from all walks of life. Adventurers like you. From this fray of death, you see movement. Bodies being pushed and rolled over as three others struggle back to life around you. You hear the gasps of breath they take in as life returns to them, the breath that was once stolen from their lungs. The sound crisp, sudden, and resounding in the deafening silence of what once was your final resting place.
I play Kai Feensong, a backdoor physic in Delmount's slums.
I am playing as Hattie Mallory, the knowledge cleric.
I'm playing Teth Ivanxa. She's a Triton bard.
I'm playing as a Githzerai druid.
Name?
Lezeth.
Two perfectly circular white eyes and a crescent moon smile shine from beneath a hood of shadow. Their skin, made of static, is hard to look at. Clawed hands reach from the sleeves of their swirling cloak, and tied around the fingers are bright red threads. It was too late to run. That is, if you ever had a chance to begin with. A seemingly unending wave of pain, and then lightning coursing through your veins. A snow leopard that pounced on you, and then darkness consumed you. The last thing you remember was a sword being plunged into your chest. And then there was a white porcelain mask, and the cawing of a raven. And suddenly, you were breathing again. You were alive. Your story wasn't over. You've fallen to your knees. Tears are streaming down your face. Looking around you, you're about 40 feet away from this perimeter of warmth that surrounds you. You're facing away from the tower you just left, looking out onto a landscape of snow and pine trees. The path leading from the tower extends beyond the perimeter, and you look up, and it begins to snow. Snow falls slowly to the ground, except it never reaches you. It melts before it hits the ground in this perimeter of warmth. And that is where I'm going to open up for you guys.
Ooh. So, what are we going to do with these chimeras?
Well, I think there's something more pressing.
Yeah, let's address the whole fact that we died, apparently.
I mean, yeah, okay, first, I think, who did I kill? Was it Lezeth?
Yeah.
Lezeth. I'm very sorry. I was not in the right frame of mind.
No, you weren't. No one was.
I mean, I think I might have just been a corpse swinging my mace around, so.
But the more important fact is that we were brought back, and that doesn't happen, especially if a god brought us back, and the Raven Queen.
Yeah.
There's a reason we're back.
I don't know if I'm
is
gonna
it?
like that reason.
I don't think I will either.
Yeah. So let me, now that we've all gotten to know each other's backstories and found out that we all murdered each other brutally, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Physic Kai Feensong.
I guess we all will reintroduce ourselves. I'm Hattie Mallory, and of course Humphrey.
Humphrey. I like him.
Well,
What is Humphrey again? Humphrey is a bird?
Humphrey is a goat.
A goat.
With big spiraling horns. He carries all my stuff.
Okay. Oh, I'm Teth. Again.
Teth.
Yeah.
I'm Lezeth. And this is Parsley.
Parsley. And then we have Jeffrey, the Oat, and the other three.
I'm holding him at the moment. Just kind of cradling him in my arms.
Is Parsley the bird? I remember somebody.
Parsley's the bird.
Yeah.
Little black and yellow bird, like a little finch or parakeet almost.
Okay.
Very small bird, just sitting on my shoulder.
So if there was a reason that we were brought back, do any of you guys have like an idea of what that might be? I'm at a loss for words. So do any of y'all have an idea of like, wait, would a British dude say y'all? Is that
I don't care. I don't know. I say y'all, and I'm
world,
Californian.
British people can say y'all.
Okay, everall can say y'all. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
I say y'all all the time.
The one constant between all of these cultures is everyone says y'all.
Yeah.
I officially give you the y'all permission slip. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay.
You just add it to our inventories in Roll20.
Y'all have.
Okay.
Okay. So do any of y'all have an idea of like why we were brought back? I'm at a loss for words.
I personally have no idea what's happening. So I'm just relying on all of you guys to like tell me if you guys know what's happening.
Obviously, something very important is happening or is going to happen for us to be back. They just don't bring people back to life. I mean, I wish that were true for everyone, that they just come back to life, but that's just not how the world works. So
you and me both, sister.
Obviously, there's something important that we must be doing. But what?
I think I know what it might be.
Oh.
Oh?
Would you like to explain? Oh.
Yeah, care to elaborate there, dear?
Oh, before she starts talking again, Hattie's gonna pull out her journal and just like look expectingly, like ready to write.
And Kai is gonna try to like wrap his tail around his legs because it's cold and his jacket doesn't cover it. He does have a tail, by the way.
Yeah.
It's kind of furry shit, but you know.
You're a tiefling.
Yeah, it's like a big snake tail. I think it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
All tieflings have tails? Isn't that like in the player handbook or something?
And some have wings too. Like there's
What?
variants.
That's cool. What?
But they don't get hellish rebuke and thaumaturgy.
Okay.
So it's a trade-off.
Today in lessons about D&D.
I have a good memory for this stuff. Okay. So continue.
Yes.
A while ago, I received a vision from the Wild Mother. And she showed me a rift covered in snow. And there were monsters, beasts pouring out of it. And I couldn't tell for sure, but I got the impression that it was something that hadn't happened yet. That it was something terrible that was going to happen. I don't know where it was, though. I don't know what this rift is, where it goes, where it is now, or when this terrible thing is going to happen.
That's
all I know.
comforting.
Well, do you know where it is?
Yeah.
Or where it's going to be?
No, I have no idea where it is. I just saw monsters pouring out of a rift, and it was in a snowy wood.
Well,
I have no idea.
Before we start rolling, I would like to say that however much I appreciate not being dead forever, I don't want to save the world or put myself in unnecessary danger. So if you three lovely ladies would like to continue on this quest, I think I'm going to head back to my apothecary.
Hattie's just gonna grab Kai and just be like, hey. this is like destiny. This is fate. There's a reason we're brought back, and I think you need to fulfill it.
With all due respect, lady, I don't give a shit about fate or destiny. I just want to go home.
I think we all do. I think we all wish we could go home.
I would hope so.
But we were brought back for a reason, and if we didn't have a reason, you'd be dead right now, so...
That's true, but like, what's the point? Like, I'm going to put myself in unnecessary danger again when I have a home with a fire and a usually a consistent source of income, like a couple of miles away from here. Like, why would I continue to just keep going? Why would I want to put myself in more danger than necessary?
Like, this threat could become a whole lot bigger and a whole lot more dangerous if we don't, like, deal with it. Like,
Okay.
Either way, you could be exposing yourself to danger. You might as well just do it now.
Make a lot of sense there, Teth. You know what? Maybe I'll just stick with you guys for 2 or 3 more days. Make sure you don't get yourselves killed. I'm a pretty good healer, if I do say so myself.
Well, you can always use those. And another good point to add is, maybe if you didn't fulfill this, the Raven Queen would just decide, we don't need them, and just kill you. So...
Valid.
Well, I suppose we should start figuring out what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
We should go back into the tower.
Why?
Why?
There might be answers there. This
What about-
tower was owned by a very powerful mage, a wizard. I was traveling here with someone to make sure he was okay, because no one had heard from him. He used to be a professor. He did experimental magic. I think
Well-
there's a lot of valuable stuff in this tower that we could use. I don't
That's
want to go back
valid.
in any more than you do.
Yeah, but I don't want to fight anyone else. I'm tired.
I don't think there's going to be anything else in there. If
Okay.
there was, wouldn't that other puppet master monster that we fought have killed it already? If there was any other creature in there?
I guess.
I suppose so.
Do you want to take the rest of the chimeras back in with us, or should we just let them go?
I think they can all survive on their own, except Jeffrey.
I think you're just saying that because you think he's cute.
No, look
Yeah.
at him. He doesn't have any talons. He can't hunt like an owl, and he has a beak.
It's true.
He can't eat grass.
I mean, but you
goat.
could say the same for the other ones as well. Like, wouldn't they be considered an invasive species?
I think the wild mother will look after them.
Well, it's only one of them after all. It's not 40.
I
And
think
who's
we
to
can
say that
keep
they could
Jeffrey.
breed with others of this species?
We are really taking this into consideration. I'm just gonna go back in.
Okay. I guess Kai will follow Teth.
I'm just gonna undo the
Yeah.
leashes on the other 3 chimera and just kind of point toward the woods, just allow them to wander where they will.
Okay.
Yeah, follow
And
everyone.
then
back
say
in
a
as
quick
well.
prayer for the wild mother to watch over them and walk back into the tower.
I should note that in that clearing that you guys were in around the tower, that's like got it has no snow like around it. There is a horse and a cart outside, tied to a post.
Well, we have our getaway vehicle.
Is there stuff in the cart?
And Teth, you actually recognize this. That's the cart that you traveled here on.
Oh, that's my cart.
That you traveled with your companions on getting
Sick.
here.
Before we leave as well, I would like to give the people who died here a proper burial.
Yes. I think that's a good idea.
How many people were killed here? Like,
Judging
Dozens.
by my account, we have the 2 people that I traveled with, the one that Lezeth traveled with,
Her name was Afspira.
Aspira. Hattie came in here by herself, and Teth came with 2 others as well. So that's 2 + 2 + 1, so 5.
Okay.
Then there are others besides you guys, though.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's dozens of bodies down there in the basement.
We did crawl out of a pile of bodies.
That's valid. Okay. So which door should we go into? The 3? Or one big one?
The
small one.
Small one?
Yep.
yeah.
All right, I'll let you go in first then.
Okay. I open the door.
Oh.
Entering the smaller room, you see one door to the far right and a dead fireplace right next to you that seems to have a cooking rack in front of it. There's a table directly in front of you with what looks to be discarded old food, some molded, and you can't tell. You can tell that it's been sitting out for quite a while.
So we know that he didn't die recently.
I don't actually know what the wizard looks like. Do any of you? I know
All I
his
know is-
name.
Same.
His name was Elias Fry. That's as much as Afspira told me, and he was a human wizard. That's all I know. I don't know what he looks like, so even if we find his body, how are we going to know it's him?
I mean,
Maybe he looked wizardly?
could the monster been him? He was doing experimental magic, you were saying.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know. He could have transformed into that monster.
Maybe if we keep on looking around the tower, we'll get more clues as to what actually went down, or what is going on in the first place.
Okay.
Okie doke.
Just gonna go through the next door.
Okay.
Just keep going.
Come look in.
But it's just a...
Opening the door, this square room in front of you appears to be about 10 feet both ways. And just by opening the door, you can tell how much colder this room is than the rest of the tower. Sitting in the center of the room is a small pedestal, atop which sits a blue crystal. Traveling out away from the pedestal, crawling along the stone floor and onto the shelves and racks that line the walls, is a spread of frost that blankets the space, preserving the perishable food items that fill the shelves.
We've got supplies for the journey ahead. And, what does this crystal do? Can either of you identify it?
I'll come figure it out. I will cast Identify.
Okay. You should find that in your journal.
Yeah.
A translucent crystal glowing and swirling with blue energy. This large stone emanates a constant frost around it in a radius that can be set by the user once attuned. This item does not take up an attunement slot. This is a frost crystal.
Well, that could come in useful, at least for gold.
Sure.
Here.
Okay.
Here, why don't I start grabbing some things, and I'll start pulling some stuff and just, putting it in the pouches on Humphrey's back, because he's, a pack goat.
Okay.
Alright. Well, let's see what else is in here.
Is there anything else in this room, or that's it?
It's a pantry.
It was an ice room. It was like an ice box where they kept perishable food.
Oh, okay.
It's a fridge.
Yep.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Over here.
I'm gonna go through the second door then.
Hey, roll 20. Maybe I could reveal this area. That'd be great.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Okay.
Opening the double doors, you're greeted by an ascending stairwell, part of it obscured and contained with barrier walls. There's a small amount of space behind these walls, simply containing storage containers. Another doorway presents itself on the left side of this chamber.
Okay.
Can I go look in the storage containers?
Yeah.
I do that.
Okay. So, Roll investigation for me if you're gonna look through them.
Sure. That's just a D20, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I went out and bought dice yesterday, so I have real dice now.
6.
That's a 20.
Whoa!
Yeah, so
So-
you find like the mother lode of non-perishable food items. It's like apples and all that stuff.
Nice.
Jackpot.
Okay.
So,
Where are
would
we
you
going?
guys like to go down the stairs or through the doorway?
If I may first, and then I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
Just in case.
That's a 30-foot radius, right?
I believe so.
You don't sense anything here.
Well, there's nothing magical.
Should we go up or should we go over here? Left. Through the door.
We could split up.
Bad
Okay.
idea. Let's not do that.
I go through the door.
Okay.
I guess
I
that's
also
what we're
take whatever
doing.
stuff I just found, and I take
Alright.
that stuff.
Inside, it's simply a bathroom containing a toilet, empty bathtub, and a wash basin. Nothing too special. It's just a bathroom.
It's just a bathroom.
It's just
Alright.
a bathroom.
Can I roll to see if Kai has to go to the bathroom?
If you so desire, I suppose you can.
Okay, I'll just do a d20 then.
Okay.
That's a nat 20. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. What does that mean?
You definitely have to go pee.
Okay. Or does it mean that I don't have to go pee forever for the rest of time?
Oh. Well, so roll to see if you do have to go pee.
Okay,
So
well
it's
then
like-
Kai's gonna use the bathroom.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, so you use the bathroom.
Okay, I'm good now.
I'm supposed to like talk about that in the context of this game.
Let's go downstairs, or is it upstairs? Does it go down or
Okay.
up?
It's up.
Up. Let's go upstairs.
Okay.
time to go up the
Let's
stairs.
go upstairs.
I follow.
Okay. If you look around, there
time.
should be another square that's been revealed.
Yep.
As you make your way up the stairs, you see a room covered wall to wall in bookshelves, filled with tomes and leather-bound journals. The floor is, again, splattered in blood and scorch marks. Arcane torchlight illuminates the space.
I am instantly gonna be like, oh my god, books, and just look to see if I can find anything like related to like what is happening, like about the wizard, like a wizard's journal, or like just anything interesting, like spells or spell books, like that sort of thing.
The books, they relate to different types of magic. You look at some and they seem to refer to crystalmancy. There's some relating to alchemy and transmutation magic. And then, of course, there are a few journals that look like they were just kind of for the documentation of experiments and stuff like that.
So they're like the research notes we got downstairs.
Yes, except not about the research that was going on downstairs specifically.
Can I flip through them? See what I find out.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna go ahead and roll investigation for me. Just flipping through those.
Oh, that was good. That is a 21.
Nice.
Okay. So, these notes are pretty similar to the ones that you saw down in the lab before, except they relate to different types of animals being combined in the Chimera experiment. And it's all these different notes about the success of these experiments, how quickly the chimeras died after being combined, and stuff like that.
Research notes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Research notes.
So can Kai see if he can see anything that's related to like the Elder Obelix and Mind Flayer experiment that we heard about last time?
That would have been in the notes that you collected from the lab.
Okay.
I took them. They're in Humphrey's packs.
Okay. Hattie. Could you check the notes that you got from the basement?
I pull them out again.
Okay.
And
Do you see anything in there other than just them saying, like, Elder Obelix and Mind Flayer?
I'll scan for that.
Okay, I'm not going to make you roll.
Okay. Because
There's nothing more about them. It stops as soon as, there's some detailing about the fact that they're performing an experiment with the Elder Obelix and the Mind Flayer. Looking at these notes, like comparing them, you can kind of see a pattern that the danger and challenge of these monsters and these creatures kind of grows as the experiments go on. So like it starts with a smaller animal like a mouse and stuff like that, and it goes up in danger and scale the longer the experiment goes on. And there's a common theme with the smaller creatures that some of them, they died pretty quickly after being combined with one another, and then others weren't. And then you do reach the experiment notes for the wolf dragon, the wagon, the snow leopard, and all those chimera that you rescued down in the lab. And they were some of the more successful experiments that were conducted, because they were alive. But that's where it ends, pretty much.
Okay.
Yep. I just recount what you just told. Just be like, hey, there's nothing.
Great.
Do you think that because the wizard tried to combine the Elder Obelisk and the Mind Flayer, that he created the monster that we fought?
That's totally plausible, and it could very well have killed him.
That's a little disheartening. For the sake of convenience, why didn't we just call it the Puppet Master?
Okay.
All right.
It's fitting.
Do the stairs continue up, or?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
You?
Oh.
Also, I still detect magic going. Is there anything I'm picking up?
Not in this room.
Okay.
No.
And nothing any more useful? Like spell books or something?
Unless you want to take the books on, like, certain types of magic.
I'll leave them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep on going upstairs.
Okay.
Okay. Kai will follow.
I think I'll follow as well.
Coming into the third and final floor of the tower, you see a simple bedroom. In the upper right-hand corner is a single bed, and the upper left-hand corner across from it contains a dresser, while the lower left-hand corner has a table containing some paper and a dried inkwell and pin. Atop the dresser, you see a small chest and a few gold coins scattered about.
I'm gonna instantly run over to the desk. Well, not run, but go over to the desk and start trying to find anything about the wizard or about more
There are
stuff.
papers. There are papers scattered on the desk. Looking over a few of them, there are some that are not in common, and they look to be letters of some kind.
Can I tell what it is in?
It's in Abyssal.
Dang
And
it, I don't know that.
I don't know that I...
Hattie,
Neither.
looking over this letter, your vision pulses for a second, and suddenly
Oh no.
there's a moment of clarity in your mind, and you know how to read this letter. You know how to read this letter in Abyssal, in a language you don't know.
Well, that's odd.
Before we continue, you said there were coins on the desk?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kai's gonna saunter over and sweep those into his bag.
Okay, so let's see. That would be 4 gold pieces.
Alrighty. Hattie,
Hattie?
dear, can you tell me what that says? Or do you not know Abyssal?
Well, I do now. And I'm just gonna
Okay.
quietly grab the little pendant on my little half cloak that has the symbol of Ioun on it and just be like, thank you. And then read the letter.
Okay, so this is a letter between someone addressed as the Hollowed Flares and Elias Fry. It's a letter between them that mentions necromancy and the Prince of Undeath and some group called the Generals of Undeath.
Wow.
That's edgy.
And as you finish reading this letter, you blink and suddenly you can't read this letter anymore. You got the information you needed from it, and now you don't understand Abyssal. You can't read this letter.
Well, that was useful.
And I'm assuming that she relayed that information back to us as well?
Yeah, I would. I'd just read it aloud or something.
Okay.
Did it say anything specific? It just mentioned...
It's just a letter between this thing, the Hollow Flares, and the wizard, Elias. Stuff about undead, necromancy, undeath
and
generals.
The Prince of Undeath.
I don't like the way
group.
that sounds.
Do I know? Does this anything pique my, brain? Hey, do I remember this? Like that.
Let's go religion check.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That is a 20. Not natural, but I'm rolling good with these new dice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you do kind of get an inkling of recognition from the name Prince of Undeath. You seem to recall that his actual name is Orcus.
Okay.
Okay.
And remembering this, I'm gonna tell everyone. I think the prince's name is Orcus. I don't remember why, but I think I remember that somewhere.
Is it racist to assume that he's an orc?
I don't think so. Orc
Probably.
is literally in the name.
And there was another letter on the desk too.
Oh.
Oh, well, I'll snatch that one up as well. Let's see.
It's also written in Abyssal.
But I don't know it anymore.
Nope.
Nope. Well, can't read this one.
Let's hang on to that. Maybe there's someone near where that can also read Abyssal.
Maybe.
How far is Delmount from here?
That would be about, to go from where you are across the valley to Delmount, that would be about 140 miles away. Taking the cart, that would be a week's travel, and then on foot, that would be double.
Okay.
Oh.
So I might have, or at least have some connections with people who I've treated who might know someone who speaks or reads Abyssal at my apothecary in the slums of Delmount. So would you guys be up for traveling there to find someone to read that?
Yeah, for sure.
I think it would be in our best option, one of our best options.
Okie doke. So
To Delmount?
to Delmount.
Now, the traveling montage.
Yeah!
Is there nothing else on the desk? A journal, just the letters?
Yeah, it's letters and a dried inkwell and a pen.
Okay. Oh, anything under the bed?
There is not anything under the bed.
Just
Dust bunnies.
Yep.
Something to add to your menagerie.
Okay, yeah, I leave the tower. There's nothing else here, right?
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
anything in... What is... Whoa.
Wait, there was a chest on the dresser,
Yeah, is
wasn't
there
there?
this? What's this thing?
That's a dresser. And
Well, can
on
I
top
look
of
in
it
there?
is yeah, you can look in there. I'm not gonna make you roll.
Okay.
There's not a lot in there. It's just like robes and stuff like that. You do find an interesting robe in here though. It's this robe made out of pretty nice material that's kind of a light brown, but all across it are these different patches that seem to depict different items and animals and stuff.
That might be useful to take.
Yeah,
Not for
I'm
the
gonna
cold, for something else.
keep that. And is there something on top of the dresser, or
Yeah, there's a tiny little chest.
can I look in there?
Yeah. It's not locked, so that is...
Oh, and again, I need detect magic. I forgot about that.
Right. I'll get that in a second. That's 70 gold pieces.
Oh
Seven,
my
like
God.
7-0?
7-0.
Oh my god! Wait.
This guy was rich. He had
Okay.
money.
Okay.
So
Cool.
Wizards, man, they need a lot of money, so...
Okay, I take the 70 gold piece.
okay.
You can't tell because his face is like still, but Kai is burningly jealous.
I was gonna take the coins on the desk, and then you did that, and I was like so upset. But now it's even.
Is it
Don't
though?
even worry. I think it is.
This is versus 4?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Okay, so Hattie, you actually get a blip off of that cloak that she pulled out of the dresser.
Sick. And then I will, once I get the blip, I'm gonna cast Identify. Because it's a cantrip, so I'm just gonna willy-nilly.
So that is in your journal. This is the robe of useful items.
Whoa!
This robe has cloth patches of various shapes and colors covering it. While wearing the robe, you can use an action to detach one of the patches, causing it to become the object or creature it represents. Once the last patch is removed, the robe becomes an ordinary garment.
Whoa!
And I couldn't fit all of the stuff for it on the item card, but there should be notes about it where it has all the stuff that you need for it.
Oh,
Sick.
Oh my god! Wow,
Two
really glad I checked
matchsticks?
that dresser.
Yeah, we were about to leave the tower.
Oh my God!
We were like already. Wow.
I'm glad you tried
Oh my
dresser
god!
too.
I was thinking about it, and then I was like, no, there's probably nothing in there.
Awesome. So I have that. Okay.
Yep. Well, that'll come in handy.
Does the staircase continue up, or are we...
No,
the top.
this is the last floor.
Oh. Thought it was going to go further up.
No, it ends here.
Because I know there's a crystal on the top of the tower that emits that warm beacon of warmth that makes it so that there's no snow on the ground here. I wish we could get to that.
Unless you want to go scale the tower, I don't think you're gonna be able to.
I could do it.
Unless you want to die another time, Again? I don't think that's a wise idea.
Maybe we can do that.
Climb
We
the
can
tower,
test
though.
to see if the Raven Queen or whoever will bring us back again.
I don't want to. I
rather
don't
not.
want to test that.
I'd rather not test the Raven Queen.
As the dungeon master, I strongly advise against doing that.
But I could do it.
No. Not happening.
How would you do it? I think
As
is
a
the
bear?
next-
Oh no.
As a bear, let's see.
Try to scale the
What do
tower
I
as
have
an
in my
animal.
arsenal?
Or
Let's see, a mountain lion.
If you turned into like a bird or something, you could fly up there.
I don't know how to fly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how things
I
work,
haven't-
so.
I haven't quite learned how to fly yet. Parsley's helping me,
And
but
even
at the
then,
moment he's my eyes in the sky. I can't fly yet.
even then, how would how big is the orb thing?
It's pretty big.
Yeah, I don't think a bird would be able to carry that down.
Me either.
Like a really big bird? I don't know.
Okay.
Well, if we can get it, we can always come back later if we find a
Yeah.
way.
Guess so.
Okay.
Right, then are we off?
Off.
I
Unless
guess
whoever
so.
wanted to do the burying the bodies.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
me. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So,
I guess we do that?
Because
Yeah.
Hattie has
Yeah.
some knowledge of burying bodies, she's going to help.
okay.
She's
And-
definitely going to help.
So,
I'm gonna
if you
try
guys-
and keep a lookout for a human male wizard-looking fellow.
Okay.
We'll do.
Someone fancy, probably.
Yeah,
Um,
if they're
And
gonna
you said
try
that.
and
Oh, sorry. You said that there was like a tiefling, or we fought a tiefling controlled by the puppet master last time.
a red tiefling.
Okay, so Kai is gonna go down there, and take. Was it what kind of like and take them and do some tiefling burial rites. So in Infernal, he's gonna say a prayer to Corellin, and then he is going to use one of his spells to immolate them and then scatter their ashes.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool.
So, you think Sacred Flame would work for that?
I guess.
Okay.
don't
I also have
the
Burning
description
Hands and
for that
Fairy
spell on
Fire.
hand, so
Um,
I'll allow it.
okay. So, yeah, he will cast Sacred Flame and immolate the tiefling.
Okay. So for the next few hours, you guys spend your time carrying the bodies out of that little underground storage area you guys woke up in, and carrying out the bodies down over to the clearing out in front of the tower, and finding a place to bury these bodies. And Lezeth, you do not see a human wizard or anyone that could be described as being even remotely what you would think a human wizard would look like.
Okay.
Also,
Are the
I put on
animals
the.
still outside?
The animals, they have left.
Okay, good.
I put on the robe of useful items. I'm just
Okay.
wearing it now.
Pull it over your shoulders, and now you have a
Magical
robe
robe.
of useful-
Now I have it.
Yeah.
Is it like really gaudy looking? Like, is it an ugly robe or is it a cool robe?
Is it like one of those suitcases you see in movies with the patches all over
I
it?
have I have an
yes,
image
it is-
of it. I found
that's
an
a-
image of it on something.
Ooh.
Yeah, the one that's in the DM's
Yeah, I found a picture of it here.
is the picture I'm going off of. It's kind of a light brown, and it's got all these patches all over it that look like different things. So there's one that looks like a dagger and
Oh, yeah, it's
a
not- it's
horse and like all this other stuff.
That's cool.
So,
What time? By the time we're done, what time is it? What time of day is it?
It would be about late afternoon. I would
Okay.
say.
So then we should probably get on our way as soon as possible. My thought is that we get to Delmount and start at the Temple of Corellin. The High Priestess Reynala can definitely point us in the right direction, I'm assuming.
Okay.
all right, let's do that.
I'm still holding Jeffrey. I still just have him cradled in my arms.
All right. So, you guys can make your way. It would take about a week to get over there. If you were taking the horse, you're traveling at a normal speed. But if you wanted to go at a fast speed, that would have your travel time total. So you can decide what you want to do with that. But as you guys cross over this perimeter of warmth into the cold of Winterflower and make your way down the path and onto the trading routes that line this continent. It takes a few days to get over there, and quite peacefully, actually, you make your way into the area that is known as Delmount. And making your way up to the city gates, you notice two features that are a bit strange. One off to the right is this sprawling section of farmland that just kind of is just outside of the city gates. And then on the left, there's this what looks to be almost a fully realized city on the outside of the walls here, but the buildings are in disrepair. Most of them are a wreck. Some of them aren't anything but foundation. It's just like it's just like bones of buildings in this area. And Kai, you recognize this as home, actually, and before you is this pretty big city behind walls and I guess if you want to park the cart, there is a stable kind of on the right near where the farmland is. I think if you wanted to park the cart there, you could.
Okay. So Kai is like, you can see that he's like visibly like very excited. And so he's going to look at the group and be like, so would you rather go to the temple first, or can I check in and make sure that my home hasn't been robbed or destroyed?
You can check in.
You'll probably just
don't
be
mind.
distracted the entire time if you don't check in, so...
Yes. Okay. So then Kai's going to lead them through the slums. So they're going to stop in front of the Blind Beholder Tavern. It's a little run down. It's like you can see kind of light shining through the windows. So there's like people inside and stuff. And then when you walk around the back, there's like kind of a little, like a shack or a hut almost. Looks like there's two rooms inside. So he's going to unlock the back door and walk in. And inside there's like kind of a loft over half of the room. The bottom half is like a kitchen with a fireplace that has drying herbs and other medicinal items. And then the top is a sleeping area. And he is going to call out, "Squeaks! Squeaks, are you here?" And a little mouse is going to run across the floor and into his hand.
Okay.
So,
That's adorable.
yeah. And so he's just going to like pet the mouse and be like, "Squeaks, oh my God. How are you? good? Is your family okay? Have you been like hurt? Has anyone come in? And like obviously the mouse doesn't understand him, and it's just kind of smelling his fingers in case he has cheese.
How cute.
And then he's gonna look at everyone and be like, "Can I have a moment alone with my mouse, please?"
Of course. Can I walk out?
Hattie just face palms and just leaves.
The solidarity of being a pet owner.
And then, so after that, Kai is just gonna look at them and be like, "In the front room, I have my clinic where I help others. This is my kind of bedroom, kitchen area. There's also a garden in the back that looks like the weeds have taken over in the time that he's been gone. And that's about it. I don't think the tavern was originally built by his mentor, Elena, but it's serviced by other people now, so he's still friends with them, but like he doesn't necessarily need to go in there to make sure everything's okay. So if y'all want, we can go to the Temple of Krellin now. I just wanted to check and make sure Squeaks was good.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys are kind of making your way out of the slums, Kai, there's something different here. That is to say, there isn't really a sense of consistency within the slums. It's ever-changing. I mean, a place called the Snowbog can't be that great. But as you're making your way through, you recognize there are few things that have changed. Namely, a series of tents that have been set up kind of in the center of this area. And inside you can see there are cots lined in these tents, and a number of what look to be priests inside. These are triage tents.
Oh dear.
You don't know what's happening.
Do the priests look like someone, like, do they look like they're from the Temple of Krellin, or?
Not just Corellin from the different temples that are here in town. It's priests from all different congregations.
Okay, so Kai's gonna run up to one of the priests that worship Krellin and be like, what is going on here?
Well, we've had a bit of a drug problem. But it's different than other drugs we've encountered in the city. This one, it makes people sick, and we don't know what to do with that.
Sick how?
Lethargic, almost like the flu, but they get worse the longer they take this drug. And after a while, the attacks started happening.
Attacks?
Yes. It's been a theme that the people who take this drug, the longer they take it, the more dangerous they become, in a way that's incurable. And we've had a few attacks in the city. They're almost like zombies.
Okay. So, my party and I are actually going to go to the temple to talk to Reynala for a bit. But I will be back in a little to help offer my services and see what's going on. Do you know who's been distributing it or what it's called?
Well, Kai, you would know the one to ask around here is the slumlord, Durdrax.
Ugh.
Crime boss here.
Don't like dealing with him, especially after what happened last time.
What happened last time?
I'd rather not talk about it. And you can see that he's like visibly like shaken. Like he has like tears in his eyes. And so he's going to be like, Godspeed, may the sun light your path. We're going to go to the temple right now, and I will be back in a little bit.
Okay, they nod in your direction in acknowledgement.
While Kai was doing that, could I have looked for a priest or priestess of Ioun that I might recognize or would know, like at all from my time in the temples?
Well, I don't know, would you have visited a lot of temples outside of the one that you were in?
I probably wasn't have visited, but there might have been people who visited, like ours.
There really aren't a ton of people that you could say that you recognize. These are very, like, simple, kind of lower level priests within the temples here. But yeah.
So none that would have visited or anything?
No.
Okay. Well, to the temple, I guess.
Okay. So, you guys make your way beyond the city gates, and walking through, there are a number of guards walking about, a few people wearing more fanciful armor of silver, and it looks to be armor inspired by the Platinum Dragon. Making your way up to God Crest, which is where the temples are located in town. It's this massive section, this communal religious section of town. There are 11 temples here. The central one has a dragon's head on the front of it. There's one directly next to it on the right that has the holy symbol of Ioun on top of it. The next one to the left has the symbol for a goddess known as the Inventor. And then there are a few other temples here as well. Of course, there's one for Corellin here, a little further down.
Any of them for Melora?
Yep. The one for Melora is this massive open-air temple with trees growing out of it, and all these different plants surrounding it and stuff like that.
Cool.
Okay, well, Kai is just going to charge right into the Temple of Corellin, and he's going to demand to see Reynala immediately.
Well.
Okay, and as you do, there's a lower level priest that kind of intercepts you because you look kind of panicked, I guess. And it's like, oh, hold on. What do you need? He looks a little nervous.
I need to see the High Priestess immediately. It's a matter of a grave emergency.
And he nods. Okay, I'll fetch her immediately.
Thank you.
And he goes into one of the back rooms in the central congregation area, and takes a few minutes, and he returns, and following him is this tall, slender, lightly tanned elven woman wearing the robes of Corellin, of the worshippers of Corellin, the Sun's Legion, they're called. And she looks you over and raises an eyebrow expectantly, waiting for you to speak.
High Priestess Reynala, we have dangerous news. We were in the Wizard's Tower up north, and and you can see that like Kai is like visibly like very, very nervous and on end, and you can kind of tell that it's because he's not wearing his vestments and he's like in these like dirty, raggedy clothes. And so he just kind of feels like a slob right now. And so he's like, and we died and then came back, and there was a big bad scary monster, and the wizard died and left shit in his desk. Letters.
I just pull out the letter.
Thank you.
And she was like, as you were stuttering through that entire thing, she was like raising a finger, but you kept going, and she takes the letter and looks it over. Well, I can ask around if anyone knows how to read this, but I don't, certainly. You might be best... Hold on a second. You died and came back. I feel like I skipped over that. You died and came back to life.
Yes. Yeah, that I probably didn't explain that as well as I could have. We traveled there separately and were killed by this hideous creature. Long robes, static, horrifying smile, and it was able to control our corpses. We were revived somehow. I remember a mask and a raven's voice. I'm assuming that has something to do with the matron of ravens, the Raven Queen. It's bizarre. I know. I don't know if you have any reason to believe me, but you have to trust me that something is not right.
And all composure that was, the air of composure that was around this woman before has kind of fallen away, and she's just kind of there in a little bit of disbelief, but understanding as well. It's like, all right. That does sound like the Raven Queen. That's quite the story. I don't really know how to respond, really.
Trust me, I don't either.
And she laughs a little bit.
Do you know of anyone who might be able to speak or read the language on these letters? Or Abyssal. Sorry, my words have left me. Or anything else that we could do, mayhaps, to understand this.
You might be best off at the Temple of the Knowing Mistress. They have a massive compendium of information over there.
Okay, I think that's Hattie's department.
Yep.
All
I was
right.
about to suggest that.
I'll let you take the lead then, dear.
Well, I guess I take the letter back.
Thank you, High Priestess.
And she nods her head and says, of course, dear. And you guys are making your way over to the Temple of the Knowing Mistress?
Yep.
Okay, so the Temple of the Knowing Mistress is one of the 3 biggest temples in town. It's a little smaller than the one for Bahamut, but it's basically a massive library with a religious space kind of in the center of it. And there are just shelves upon shelves of books. And these priests kind of making their way through, and a few clerics and paladins kind of walking about.
I'm gonna just catch someone's attention and just be like, hey, this letter's in Abyssal. Do any of you know Abyssal? Straightforward. We need to figure this out.
So
I
the
love this
exact-
temple, by the way.
the exact opposite of Kai.
Yep.
Okay, so it takes a few minutes of people just shaking their heads and walking away from you before you finally find somebody that's willing to look at the letter that you have. And it's this just very plain priestess who is walking about, a human woman with darker hair, and she nods her head. She's like, I know a little bit of Abyssal.
Well, it'll do for now.
Okay. So she takes the letter from you and she looks it over and scans it, and she recounts to you that this letter is between Elias Fry and someone only named as the Archmage. And this letter is about the Archmage having found someone to be what is known in this letter as the Inheritor. And it's just kind of this list of the qualities this person has that make them a good candidate for whatever this is, whatever the title of Inheritor means. And that is kind of what that's all the letter says. It's just
the gist.
a letter, yeah. It's the Archmage talking to Elias Fry, telling him that they've found someone to be the Inheritor.
Does it describe that someone physically, like what they look like? Does it give a name?
It does not.
Okay.
Does the Inheritor ring a bell at all?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Great. Is that all that we want to do here? Like, is there anything else that you guys want to do in this temple or at any of the other temples?
Well, we could try and figure out who the Inheritor is, and, what's his face? The Undead Prince? Or
Yeah.
Undeath Prince?
Orcus.
Yeah, Orcus. And the Generals of Death, that sort of thing.
Yes.
The Hollow
Who would-
Flares, those things.
Who would know about that?
Well, this temple has plenty of books.
We are in the right
find out.
place.
Before, like, the priestess we walked up to, like, leaves or something, can I just, like, be like, I'm from a temple from temple at Valoon in Merowyn. Do you know if anything's become of it?
I'm afraid not. You could approach the High Priest if you so wish to ask about it, but I don't know if he would be welcome to visitors at the moment.
Why is that?
Well, he's the High Priest of the Knowing Ones. He's probably got a lot on his plate at this point.
Understandable. Thank you.
And she walks away into the bookshelves. She goes.
Just sinks into the books. And I'm like a true follower.
Oh my god.
Well,
That's not what I meant, but that is
No.
a fantastic
Yeah.
mental image.
Oh my gosh.
let's just start searching for books. Well, I start searching for books. I don't know about these pools.
Okay.
Sure. Start sifting through the titles, looking for anything mentioning necromancy or the Prince of Undeath or the Generals of Undeath or the Hallowed Flayers. Is that their name?
Yeah, I was looking
Hollowed
at that.
Flares.
Hollow
Flares.
Flares.
Did that ring a
actually,
bell
if-
at all?
Well, I don't know if it would to you, since you were pretty closed off from the world.
Yeah.
Other people in this group might have heard of this name eventually.
But I have no idea. I just...
Yeah,
Flares.
you don't know, but other people might. So if you guys want to try and figure out if you recognize this name, you can roll an intelligence check, maybe?
Do you want me to? 'Cause I think I already-
My intelligence is +2.
Okay. So whoever's rolling it, you can roll it, and
I got a 17.
okay. So you do recognize the name Hollowed Flares.
It's coming back to me now.
You heard a little bit about them. The Hollowed Flares, they were a family that lived in Fellrun before, but they had recently, just in like the past couple of years, become the inheritors for an estate up in Frostwall that used to belong to the Nevermore family. The Nevermore Trading Company is a familiar name to most people. They are a fairly rich family, but unfortunately a few years ago, the family went missing, and the Hollowed Flares showed up to lay claim to the estate. And they now run what is left of the Nevermore Trading Company.
Well, that's interesting.
I might be dabbling into some terrible shit.
Yes.
Necromancy and the Prince of Undeath. Okay, searching the bookshelves for Necromancy and the Prince of Undeath, then. That's
Yep.
one question
just
answered.
giving a cursory glance to the bookshelves and the spines of these books, you're not necessarily going to find anything that mentions those things explicitly.
What about
But if
flipping
you
through
are
the
like
books?
flipping through them,
Yeah, like
then,
investigation check.
Yeah, roll investigation for me.
Are we all doing it?
Who's looking?
I was just gonna go ask someone.
Teth is like not about this. She's so bored right now. Like researching a book. She's just like sitting on the floor. She doesn't.
If she's sitting on the floor,
Hattie
I'll,
looks happy.
if she's sitting on the floor, I'll hand to Teth, Jeffrey.
Oh, thank you.
You hold him, and I'll go look through the boats for something.
All right.
And I'll ask someone if they know anything about it.
All right. So, which die to use? This one. Ooh. Investigation check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I gotta find it. There it is. 17.
Okay. So, flipping through some of these books, you do find one that mentions the Prince of Undeath, but kind of in a cursory way. There's no like specific details. All that's there is like his name is Orcus, Prince of Undeath, and it also mentions the Raven Queen as well. The fact that Orcus made an enemy of the Raven Queen a while back. And that's about all you can find for
Okay.
now. Hattie, you were asking somebody about it?
Yes.
Okay,
Also,
so
I'm gonna ask about the rift because that was the thing that popped up with
ask about
Yeah.
the rift. Okay.
from the
The
vision.
unknown snowy rift.
So, in regards to the rift, asking around, someone tells you basically that there's only 5 known rifts that people have found and are guarding in this world, and 2 of them, there are 2 that haven't been found. Like, they saw, the people back then, they saw the impact of these realms, but they couldn't, there were 2 rifts that they couldn't find. there are 5 ones right now that people know about and actively guard and work around, but other 2, they don't know where they are.
But they're known of.
Yeah, they're known of, but they don't know where they ended up. Precisely where the impact happened.
Okay.
And then about the Prince of Undeath.
And regarding the Prince of Undeath, it's kind of the same thing, really. And mentions, the rivalry between the Raven Queen and the Prince of Undeath. But that's really all you can get.
So, is it safe to assume that he could be a deity if him and the Raven Queen have beef?
Yeah, does it say anything about
Also,
what he is?
He's the Prince of Undeath, so I mean, Raven Queen kind of would probably be mad at someone like that who just doesn't die if their name's Undeath.
Yeah.
So...
Lezeth, what were you asking?
I don't remember now.
Awesome.
I said, does it
race they
tell
are?
what he is? Yeah. Does it say whether or not he's a deity or...
It does not mention anything specifically.
Okay. All we know is the name.
And the Generals of Death, and something to do with the Hollow Flares.
Okay. So are we safe to assume that that's all that we're going to do in the temple?
Well, it's all we could find out.
Okay. So Kai is going to want to go back to the triage tents in the slums, but I don't know if anyone else wants to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Tess is just so ready to leave. She's like, she'll go wherever. She just wants to get on.
Yeah, we're not finding anything here, so...
Is Teth like the baby of the group?
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
she's not really used to like sitting still or being like around like doing research or whatever. So this is literally the most boring stuff for her right now.
Oh my god.
Actually, seeing like Hattie seeing Teth like being like kind of like a little kid, like not wanting to be here, she's just gonna be like, how old are all of you?
Oh, I'm 23.
I'm 20.
Same.
You're all just children.
I'm not a
What?
child. I've been running an apothecary since I was 15.
You're practically children to me. I'm
Valid.
68.
Very old. On death's door.
Yeah, ready to drop dead at any second.
Over the hill.
Which is a particularly apt phrase at this point.
Yes. I may be old, but I'm rather hardy. But why all of you to be chosen for this is what I'm wondering. You're just still so young.
Well,
Maybe
why
why
you?
I'm
You're so old.
Hattie just looks done, but she's continuing. Well, like, I could lose my life, and I've fulfilled what I need to with my life. You people, you've barely begun yours. It's sort of unfair to have you all put your lives at risk.
Well, what I've learned in my 23 years of life is that life is generally very unfair. You don't get to pick what happens to you, just what you do with what happens to you.
Oh boy, do I know that.
So I understand if you all want to explore the city. I know that watching me attend to others is probably not the funnest thing for you all, especially Teth. But I do want to start investigating that drug as well that has been worming its way into my home.
I think I'll spend a little longer here, but Kai, you go ahead and do whatever you want.
Okay.
Same for you too. But please, don't do anything stupid. We don't want you dying again.
Again. Well, I am in no hurry to pass away, if that makes any sense. And I'd hope that you all weren't as well. But I need to go and change into my vestments and grab my medicines and help those in need.
Okay.
Do you mind if I come with?
What's everybody doing?
I'm gonna stay at... Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna stay at the temple for a little longer and just, like, kind of, like, pray to Ioun and just, like, I don't know, just, like, kind of think about what's been going on, like, muddle it over, try and think if I can come up with anything. Like, get a revelation, that sort of thing. And just see if Ioun has anything to offer to me.
Kai is going to go back and see if he can investigate anything else that's happening with those drugs. He might try to see if he can find more out about what Durgrax has involved in it, but he's definitely not going to go and try and see him.
Okay.
I'm just
Can
gonna
I
go
come
follow
with
Kai.
I'm coming with Kai, yeah,
Okay.
if I can.
So,
I got nothing else to do.
three of
Can't
you,
find out anything about the rifts. Don't know
three
where
of
else
you
to
make
go.
your way back to the snow bog, which is what this area is called, slums here. And after you change into your vestments, you make your way over to one of the triage tents, and there are priests bustling around. There are people laying on cots in different stages of sickness here. And as you guys are making your way inside to kind of take in this space, there's a scream. And one of the patients sitting on this cot, they are in the throes of sickness. Their skin is a sickly green color, and they have blank eyes, and they shuffle forward off of this cot and come for one of the priests nearest to them and start biting down on their neck. Hello everybody, I'm your Dungeon Master, Gabrielle, and I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this episode of Use Your Imagination. You can follow the show at Dungeons Doodles on Twitter. Don't forget to visit our website, dungeonsanddoodles.weebly.com, to find more information about the show, the hosts, and where you can access transcripts for past and future episodes. You can stream Use Your Imagination on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and Podbean. If you'd like to support the series, make sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Again, thank you. I hope you'll be joining us next time.